YouTubers, what's up? It's your boy Hamlet, and we're bringing you another edition of some preventive maintenance. All right, what we got here is an air dryer. All right, let me lay this down real quick. First of all, if you're new to the channel, don't forget and mash that like button. All right, mash that like button, mash subscribe button. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think of this video. And Charles Brandt is the first one in the house. What's up, Charles Brandt? Good morning. Good afternoon here on East Coast. All right. And what we got going on here is we're working on the Classic this weekend. All right. And essentially keeping it 100. Oh my God. $24.99. Hey, shout outs to keeping it 100. All right. Always watching the channel, always talking good stuff, even just like motivational stuff. Sorry I'm shaking the camera, I'm trying to take this glove off. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys real quick what I'm doing and why am I doing it and all that. So let's look at some other stuff. So keeping it 100, appreciate, what is it called? There's a word for this thing. When you send the money, I forgot what it's called. I'll see if you guys can remind me. I forgot what do you call it. But the super chat. The super chat. Hey, appreciate it a lot for the super chat. Keeping 100. If you guys haven't already checked her channel out, go ahead and check out Keeping It 100 channel. She talks a lot good stuff in trucking, and she's a female in trucking, and she, from what my understanding, she has some mechanical experience. So, anyways, let's go ahead and keep it. I'll be working on fixing my reverse light. Hey, there you go. So real quick, right now, let's turn the camera around and show you guys what we got here working on. All right. So right here, we have air dryer. All right. This is a new air dryer assembly, because you can get just this top part, or they got the new style, which is like a spin-off cartridge, which is better in my opinion. And then we got the old one right here. Now, one of the biggest things in the air system, right? This is just some knowledge for you guys that don't know anything about the air system. Your air system has a dryer, right? And the reason why it has a dryer is because compressors, when they compress air, there's water in the system, right? Water gets built up, like it's kind of like condensation. And what the air dryer does is essentially, it's a filter that holds that water for you and doesn't let it in your lines. Now, this is very important, right? In wintertime, having water in your lines is a very serious problem. Like, they actually have products, let me hold off on the product. It's a very serious problem. You can understand why, right? Because you got sub-zero temperatures, and if water gets in your lines and air can't get passed through these lines and your water freezes, you get issues like your brakes get locked up. You get issues like your brakes getting locked up. Maybe you won't get any air at all to your HVAC. It just depends where, you know, in the system the water freezes. I mean, they actually have products out there that essentially you put antifreeze in your lines, and that kind of like dilutes the ice in your system and unlocks that clog of water. But you shouldn't be even having that issue, right? These air dryers is recommended to replace them every 100,000 miles or every year. Now, depending on the kind of style air dryer you have, it's a very easy task, or it could be a very hard task. Not a hard task, but just an annoying task to do, right? Also, depending where your air dryer is mounted up on the truck, is going to be very easy to do by yourself, or actually you wanted to do it, you know, probably before winter, right? If you have an air dryer that's underneath your truck, like under the hood, that is the best place you can have it at. I would recommend changing it to the spin-off cartridge, because all you need is just a wrench to take the thing off, and you could, you know, put a new cartridge on and you're good to go. And the cartridges, I think, are under $100. All right, and just replacing that, you're gonna have very minimal water in your system to prevent stuff like wheels locking up, and having a lot of water in your system, which is not good at all. The reasons why I explained. All right, so let's turn the camera on one more time. All right, so this right here, unfortunately, I had my driver go get this dryer. This is a style I don't really like because this style is bolted on, and so in order to change this out, you have to unbolt all of these. And just from a maintenance standpoint, when you want to service your trucks, or even if you're doing it by yourself, if they got the new technology where it's just a spin-off kind and not bolted, you obviously want to choose the spin-off because it's going to be much easier to do, and probably more cheaper because filters that have spin-offs probably are cheaper to produce than ones that are bolted down like this. Now, this is the old one right here. Who only knows when the last time this was changed? Probably, it looks like it's probably about 2-3 years old. And another reason why I changed it out, because the driver was having issues on the brakes, with the air just suddenly stopping, which brings up to the next conversation of the preventative maintenance for the air system. All right, let's look at the comments below real quick, and let's see what you guys got going on here. We got Ziki Masali. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? That's why you're supposed to drain your tanks every day, right? Exactly. Keep 100, and that's part of the pre-trip and post-trip. But not everybody does it every day. I try to make it a habit, like every other day while I'm getting fuel. Shut the truck off, run around the truck, and shut off. Open up the air valves, and I try to make it a habit of doing that. Doesn't always happen, depending on how fast I'm running or whatever. But on an older truck like this one, where it's a 2000. Doing stuff like this, I think it's a very good thing, especially if you have those kind of drivers that don't do these kind of things. If you use those products, chase it with gear oil so it don't dry out the pancakes and the brakes. And you see, that's a perfect example. Charles Brandt, lead coat. Were you a mechanic in the military? Yeah, I was a helicopter mechanic, and jack of all trades. Sup. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is a really a thing that I was speaking to my buddy Ryan Miller, Marine, and he's another owner op. He works on his trucks a lot, and one of the other things that has issues is one of the things that gets issues that act a little funny in the cold weather, is the air governor. All right, the air governor is this little guy. All right, let's walk over to this engine and we'll show you guys where the air governor is located on the actual engine. All right, so we're gonna switch the camera around. This is the engine that's out of the truck right now. All right, and right here the engine is gonna be a little bit different, right? But you want to mainly focus, where's your air compressor? This is where the air compressor is, right here. And typically this air governor is going to be sitting right above here, or somewhere around around there. But I know for sure it was here because I had took it off. So what the air governor does is you have lines going into here. Your air compressor is going to continue building air, but what this is going to do is going to set a certain amount of air only to go to your tanks, right? That's actually governing. The reason why it's called air governor, because this is going to govern the amount of air going to your whole airline system, all right? Which is typically at 125, 130, right around there, 110. That's the release valve now, okay? There's a release valve. Every time you drive and you hear that, tss, that's the release valve. That's not the air governor. The air governor is just regulating how much air you have, right? So this little guy right here, $48, all right? These act up in the wintertime, and if you probably haven't replaced it, it's a good idea to replace them. So when I was talking about the issue that we were having in this truck is that once in a while, and it started happening once the cold weather came in. Once in a while, all of a sudden the air just starts dropping and it only stays like at 60. And then he has to shut the truck off, drain the tanks, wait a while, and then try it back on, and then it'll work itself out. And it just happens randomly. And because the reason why it drops to 60 is a really dangerous thing, because if you're on the highway and you notice your air pressure starts dropping that fast, it's really not a good idea. So I think this preventative maintenance, once you switch over to the spin-off cartridge, or you have a newer, the newer style air dryers, if you do this once a year, $150, you probably won't even, you won't ever really experience, brakes locking up because of, water in your lines. All right. So do recommend, right? I messed up on, all right. If you're going to do this procedure here, and you're going to buy these parts, I recommend getting the new line that goes from the air compressor to the air dryer. It's typically, a lot of times, it's like a stainless steel line that's braided, or just a rubber line. I would get a new one just because I had a hell of a time trying to get the old one off and trying to salvage it because the parts stores are closed, of course. So recommend getting a new one, and probably getting some new fittings so you don't have to reuse the old ones. I like these style fittings instead of these kind of fittings, which is the, what do you call it? These are the push locks, and these are compression style. I like these compression styles because they're less prone to leak versus these ones, which, over time these start to leak. I like these a lot more. And this is where the pressure relief valve is, right here. And not only that, you have another spot right here. And these are all little valves, all right, that are gonna, once your system is built up to pressure, it's gonna make sure that it doesn't continue building pressure, all right, and go over 130, because that's an issue too. You don't want too much air, and you want just enough air, all right? So I hope you guys learned something off this video. Let's read the Charles Brandt, plus air governor will stick open sometimes from the junk in the lines. And there you go. Another reason why you want a new air dryer, because you're gonna get stuff up in your lines, right? Just because like the parts start breaking down, like the air governor, the system, right? You have maybe chunks of debris coming out, like the little rubber O-rings that start going through your system, and that kind of stuff. Once it goes into these really small air lines and like get into the air governor, it makes it stick open, and you have all kinds of issues. So this is another reason why you want to replace that air dryer once a year, and always do that. Especially on an older truck, even on a newer truck. It's if you look up by the dealership, right, the air dryer, you're gonna see that the air dryer, they're gonna recommend an interval once a year, 100,000 miles, give or take. All right, and so if you want to keep up on your warranty, that is something that you need to do, obviously, right? Let's see what else. Keeping it 100. I'm gonna save this video. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you a lot. Keeping it 100. Pinky. We got 30 people up in here. If you guys like the content of this video, mash that like button. You know what I'm gonna say. Mash it up. Drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the video. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. All right. Does a separator have to be installed at a certain height? Is an air dryer, not a fuel water separator. So maybe I'm getting them confused. But anyways, the air dryer, where it is on this truck, typically they mount them right in between the frame rails, or sometimes inside the engine. Just depends on the truck. You can move it wherever you want, honestly. You can, if you want them, if you have enough space in the engine bay, you can move it up there. You just need to refabricate air lines and extend the wiring harness out to there. So just because you have it in the between the frame rails, if you got time to move it up to engine bay, just for if you're gonna have that truck for years and years to come, I would definitely move it. But I don't think there's no certain level, of where you got to do, because it's just air going through system. It's not like coolant where you got to have the reservoir, the overflow tank at the highest point. It's not like something like that. So I hope that answers your question, Southeast Stranger. All right. When air dryer filters get too old, the filtration pellets disintegrate and it will become like dusty cartridge that get blown all through the entire system, corrupt every valve. There you go. That's Lewis Shelton. Awesome comment right there. Appreciate it. Thanks for giving us that insight. Where do you get most of your parts, and what do you think about aftermarket in-frame kits? I haven't messed with any aftermarket in-frame kits. I don't know how I feel about them, honestly. A lot of people that I talk to, they prefer to get, if you speak to somebody that's been doing a specific engine, right, like a Cat engine or a Cummins N14, they're going to tell you, they're going to say, hey, well, we can go aftermarket on this one because, it's really no difference, but you want to make sure you go with this from the dealer because, this is typically something that fails a lot, and you want to, I don't know. I would rather pay for the, the dealer part, but there are some things that I would not pay for the dealer part just because a lot of times these dealers, right? Sorry, the heater just kicked on, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. A lot of times the dealer, right? They sell parts that the Fleet Pride store sells, but just at a higher amount just because it came from their store. So I wouldn't necessarily go buying brake parts from the dealer entirely. You see what I'm saying? That I'll be going at a aftermarket store all day, right? But for something as like vehicle specific, sometimes you can only go to the dealer. I hope I'm making sense there. And I'll probably make another video just talking about, dealer versus stuff like that. So your boy Rich, hopefully that answers your question. And keeping it 100, I shared and like, hey, thanks a lot, keeping it 100 and keeping it 100. And thanks for sharing it out. Does it separate? No, I already answered that one. And if you hear all the time the hiss, it's time to change and fix. Absolutely. Wow, 2000 truck, that is exempt, huh? Yep. We have the 3 trucks, they're all exempt right now. Let's see what else. If you going to keep the truck, don't use aftermarket. Ziki Masali. All right. So anyways, I hope that answers the question for everybody. And of course, the air system, you do want to make sure that your air compressor is not passing oil, right? So that's the last thing that I'm going to say is that, while you're draining your tanks, right? Because you want to be doing that at least every other day. It should be doing every day, right? But while you draining them, right, a good tip to do is put your hand out right when you open the valve. Put your hand out right there. Let the air hit your hand. Let the water hit your hand. But you want to keep your hand out there because you want to see if you're going to start seeing some oil on your hands, right? If you start seeing oil, like a very small amount, that's okay. But if you start seeing a lot of oil, that's where the issue is going to be, where that, your air dryer, your air compressor is going to start pushing that oil through, and you're going to soon be needing a new air compressor. So that's another tip on knowing when that air compressor is going to go out, because you definitely want to make sure that that compressor is going to be good while you're on the road, because that goes out, you're going to be SOL. All right. Keeping it 100, can you keep these type of videos coming? This will help me. Hey, definitely will. Keeping it 100, definitely will. I just gotta make sure, when I get the time to come into the shop and try to do it as much as possible. And luckily, I'm starting to see myself more of a role, working on the trucks and then continue driving over the weekend. But definitely will do it. There's going to be another video. It's going to be about what I'm going to do next week. I have to change the brakes on all the trucks. on one of the Volvo, and the hubs, and I'm gonna go into detail of why I'm gonna do the hubs instead of just doing the brakes. All right. So, anyways, let's see. Point to point transportation. Hey, Cornell, I tried to hit you up, brother. I don't know what's going on with your phone. Hit me up, all right? Have a great day and be safe, all. And by the way, my phone number changed, so Cornell. So hit me up on Facebook. And Jersey B. Luciano, yo, what's up, Hamlet? In JW Lux, you still training driver with permits? Absolutely. So hit me up if you're looking to get trained. If you're going to keep that truck, don't use aftermarket. Yep, I'll write that. And M. Joseph, I just replied to you this morning. I seen your email. So go ahead and shoot me your number so I can give you a call, and we can talk about that on or off deal. All right. So anyways, we'll just do another quick overview real quick. And I took up 21 minutes of your time, and this is what we were talking about. All right. The air governor right here. Air dryer, sorry. And the air governor, all right? And they come with all these brackets or whatever, installation instructions. So yeah, this is right here. Right? This is if you wanted to extend your lines and move it somewhere else on a truck. This is all you have to do. You see how you got your wires here, and you got the lines here, and you got your safety valve. This is just, how this all works out. And I hope, and it tells you exactly how to reinstall it. But it's pretty simple. Honestly, just that toolbox alone and some of these wrenches, these special wrenches, this helps get off those quick lines, but honestly you don't really need them. Minimal tools here, anybody can do this themselves. All right. And let's see what other comments we have here before we go. Question: where can I get a drain pan big enough to do my oil change on my truck? They have these special oil ones, right? Which this truck doesn't have it. So one, right? Keep it 100. They got these special oil drains, right? They got like a little valve on them, and you can put a hose onto it, and you can shut it off so that all the oil is not just coming in. Because that's one of the biggest things doing it yourself is making sure you can kind of control the flow of it so that it's not all coming out, because they have one of these things at Fleet Pride, which is a really big basin, but you can't really keep that with you in the truck. It's just so big, unless you have a garage or something, or maybe in your driveway or something like that. But what I have found, I like using these things right here. It's a 24 quart, all right, which is I forgot how many gallons 24 quarts, but this thing is huge. I think it takes two of these to drain the tanks. To drain the oil pan, the oil out of the engine. Two of these, and these, you close it up. It comes with a lid right here, and then it's got a good handle. You can go to to or AutoZone to dump that oil, and I use two of those to drain the tank. To drain the oil, and I think that's one of the easiest ways. And plus, it's not what I like about it. It has the valves that you can close, all that, and you ain't getting a bunch of oil all over your truck or the back of your trunk or whatever. Harbor Freight, that one was from Advance Auto or AutoZone, one of the two. Yeah, and it's 11 gallons. Well, that one's not 11 gallons. It's I think when you do the conversion, it's about 4 gallons or so, or 6. But it'll hold. I got my permit. Can I come train with you in March? Yep. Just hit me up, JW Lux. Where can you get those tools? Where you at, Comelon? I'm in Loda, bro. Henny. All right. So anyways, these tools, all right. I got this from the Snap-on truck. These are air tools, but a lot of I'll probably do another video on where you can get special diesel tools, and they got a bunch of different sizes, like this one, and then they got this one. Look, you can see the size difference, and that's for all the different airlines. Because essentially what it does is, let's see, I'll probably grab it real quick and show you what it does. See if we can find a push fitting on one of these parts here. Let's see. Man. All right. So there's a push fitting right here, right? Essentially, you put this right like that, and when you pull like that, it pushes this ferrule up, and then you could pull down on the line, and it'll come out, and that's how you take those push connect fittings off. So, anyways, once again, we're closing out on the video. We appreciate this video, and this is very knowledgeable for yourself. Go ahead and mash that like button, mash the subscribe button. Share this video out to anybody that's trucking, has their own truck or whatever may have you. And drop a comment down below at the end of the video. All right. Let's see. Do you use old oil in like a heater? Nah, I want to. Charles Brent, I want to, because I had seen this old shop that had like one of those, I know they're not like the best, but like, I mean, not the best, like a, tree hugger type of deal, like they're really dirty for the environment, but yo, it's perfect, for somebody that has multiple trucks. Dump the oil, put it in the heater, run the shop. Like, it can't get any better than that, you know what I'm saying? And also check out the SoCal Trucker Gang channel, and the SoCal Trucker Gang group on Facebook, all right? There's a Facebook group there. Just put it on your search bar, SoCal Trucker Gang on there, and you can find all of us on there where we talk a lot of smack and share a lot of different information there. What do you think about International Lone Star for first truck use? Those rent, because those are pretty new, and I don't know much about them. Charles does. He has a Lone Star. They look nice. I like them. Jack of all trade, cool video. Thanks, man. Great video, brother. Have a good day. Yeah, let's talk tools. Good advice. Yeah, it's 11 gallons. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Whole 27 minutes worth. And I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to finish putting this stuff on so that this driver can go and I can get my ass out to Colorado. So how's SoCal's mom doing? I don't know. I got to catch up with him. I spoke with him the last 3 days. So check out SoCal and check out how he's doing. Praise out to his moms and his family. And check y'all later. At the end of the day, folks, I always say this, and I almost always forget. The question is simple. No, it's simple. You get busy living or you get busy dying. Check you guys later, all right?